Libra, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of June. So before I get started on this is going to be applicable for your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. Your rising sign, it's your ascendant or the ruler of your first house. And so when you think about the zodiac sign there, that would be the one that you would want to listen to. That's how other people perceive you, especially the first time that they meet you. And so that's their first impression of you. Whereas your sun sign is your actual soul expression. So this is how you convey what it is that you want, how you're feeling, all of those things. And then your moon sign is really how you process everything emotionally. And so understanding all three gives you that holistic picture of how the month is going to play out for you. And so kind of jumping into the energy in the month of June. So a lot of Gemini energy, a lot of Cancer energy. That's typical for this time of year. But what you're going to see is a lot of movement is taking place here. And so what this means for you is there's an impact on your ninth house and your 10th house. And so ninth house is all about expansion and growth. It is, think of like higher education, going in and getting an advanced degree. It could be long distance travel. It's a lot of big picture items, as well as truth is part of this ninth house energy. And then 10th house is your career and public reputation. And so you can already kind of see how those two might play in together. There might be travel connected to work. There might be going back to school in order to get the career that you want. There's a lot of interplay between these two houses. And so we're going to jump in and see, just kind of getting more of the detail here. So on June 3rd at 3:37 in the morning Eastern time, we'll have Mercury enter the sign of Gemini. And so Mercury's at home in Gemini. It's the ruler of Gemini. And so it's a lot of conversations, a lot of details, kind of really getting into those details here. And so Gemini rules your ninth house. And so with this Mercury and Gemini energy, this could be conversations connected to, again, long distance travel, higher education, any kind of growth or expansion that you're looking for yourself. When Mercury enters Gemini, it's actually going to be conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. And so more of that really expansive energy, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth. It's truth. It's all of the same ninth house energy. And so what's really interesting about this combination is we have Mercury in Gemini, Mercury ruler of Gemini, and then we have Jupiter in the ninth house, similar energy there. So a lot of growth, a lot of expansion highlighted here. We'll also have Mercury conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And so Uranus is one of those transformational planets. You could think of it as like the Tower card in the tarot deck. So that Tower card likes to break down structures. It likes to shake things up. It's about sudden change. But in the sign of Taurus, it's about change that is meant to be practical, and really anything that's kind of standing in your way or hindering it in some sort of way, Uranus wants to shake things up. And so for you, this Mercury in Gemini conjunct Uranus and Taurus, that's in your eighth house. And so eighth house is all about transformation. So think of it as like change. Uranus, the planet of change, in a house connected to change. And so in order to grow and expand, what needs to change? Is it something internally for you? Is there some sort of healing that needs to take place? Because the eighth house is death and rebirth. And so is there something here that you need to release? Something you just need to let go of? So it is kind of a healing house in that way. We'll also have Mercury sextile Neptune in Pisces. And so Neptune is at home in Pisces. It's really that same energy, just amplified, where it's all about your dreams, your goals, all of those things. Neptune in Pisces is sitting in your sixth house. It's your daily life. And so think about the things that you do on a regular basis. So we all have like some sort of steady job for the most part. Not everybody does, but for the most part, you have some sort of routine that's in place that includes diet and exercise, whether you do it or don't. It's your eating habits, including the times that you eat. It's all of these different things that are part of that sixth house. And so for you, what is it that you want as far as a daily life is concerned? Because this Mercury and Gemini energy, these conversations around your growth and expansion are creating opportunities for you to really have just that daily life that you're looking for. And then we'll also have Mercury and Gemini sextile Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And so that's a lot of information. And so Pluto, another one of those planets with transformation. So it is death and rebirth. Sitting in the sign of Aquarius, because it's been here for several months already. It's been here since January, the end of January. Aquarius is liberating energy. And so you're talking about liberating transformation here, but because Pluto is retrograde, that's all directed inward. And so Pluto is in your fifth house. So this could be children. This could be your passion projects, hobbies, short-term relationships here. And so The detailed conversations you're having around your growth and expansion are also creating opportunities for you to change maybe the way that you see your children, or the way that you interpret your passions and hobbies, or modifying those in some sort of way. And so it's really positive. This Mercury and Gemini energy is really positive for you. And then on the 6th, we'll have the new moon in Gemini. So that's going to happen at 8:38 in the morning Eastern time. And so the sun and the moon, with any new moon, they're at the same degree point in the sky. So they're at 16 degrees, but they're not alone. Venus is also at 16 degrees. And so what this means for you, all of this 9th house energy, so all of this growth and expansion. And so we've got the sun where you're expressing exactly what it is that you want from an expansion standpoint. What are your goals? Like, what is it you're trying to accomplish here? You've got the moon energy feeling very much in alignment with what you're expressing. And then you've got Venus. Venus is actually the ruler of your sign. And so it's about bringing things together. It's that Libra energy. It's that balance. Let's bring everything together in some sort of harmonious way, and really focusing here on what you value and what matters the most to you, and kind of leaving all the rest behind. And so because they're all at the same degree point, that energy is extremely blended. We'll also have the sun and moon conjunct Mercury in Gemini. So again, lots of more conversation, really getting into the details of what it is that you value, what it is that you want to expand and grow here. We'll also have the sun and moon trine the south node in your sign. And so south node is really what you're comfortable doing. So these are lessons that you've learned previously. You just feel very comfortable in that space. And so south node in your sign, it's feeling very comfortable with who you are physically, just how you represent yourself, your physical body, how other people perceive you. There's some sort of comfort level. I'm trying to find the right way to describe it. It's like you just accept who you are. You like who you are. That's that energy here. And so with the sun and moon trine this energy, there's this blend of, this is in alignment with who you are. You feel comfortable in this energy. The growth that you're seeking aligns with how you want to be seen by other people. And the sun and moon will also be sextile the north node in Aries, because we are in the Aries Libra eclipse season. Aries is your opposite sign. And so Aries is all about self, whereas Libra is all about partnerships here. And so this is a really interesting, because you're flipped. Whereas Libra for you is in your first house of self, Aries is in your 7th house of relationships. And so really your significant relationship, so marriage, partner, if you're married, or that type of relationship, or really it can be other one-to-one relationships. It's just usually kind of conveyed as the marriage house. So what it's doing is everything that you want to grow and expand, and what you value about just the journey that you're on and that you want to continue going on, it's creating opportunities for you to really step out and be more assertive within this relationship. Really convey exactly what it is that you want and you value here. And it's really interesting because just of the energies with the south node and the north node, and the way that this is all kind of hitting at the same time, this is going to be a blend of energy. This is going to feel really good. That sextile, I mean, it is creating an opportunity for you. It's one that you would have to actually take part of. It's not going to happen organically, but it all is really positive energy here. Then we'll have the sun and moon square Saturn in Pisces. And so we're actually going to see this a lot. We're going to see a lot of squares to the planets sitting in the sign of Pisces for the next couple of weeks. And so what this means is everything that you feel and everything that you're expressing from an expansion, the truth of the situation, whatever it is that's kind of coming to light for you, kind of your next steps forward, it's creating obstacles and challenges to maybe the work that you're doing in your daily life, because that's what that Saturn energy represents. It's all about work. And so it could literally be your job. It could be something connected to that. But really, Saturn in Pisces is about working on your dreams. And so this is an energy of you can do the work and you can get the results that you're looking for. It just does require you to put in the effort here. And then on the 9th, we'll have Mars enter the sign of Taurus. So that's going to happen just after midnight at 12:35 in the morning Eastern time. And so Mars and Taurus energy. So Mars is the planet of action. Taurus is very grounded, very practical. It's actually ruled by Venus as well. And so a lot of that kind of similar energy from that perspective, where in Taurus, it's more grounded in, focused on what you value. What do you find secure in your life? That kind of energy. So for you, that Mars in Taurus is sitting in your 8th house of transformation. So that death and rebirth house. This could relate to actions that you're taking to transform yourself, maybe heal from something here, releasing something here, could be power and control issues, other things like that. And I'm saying that because this Mars in Taurus will be conjunct Chiron in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. Aries is sitting in your 7th house of partnerships, your relationships. Again, kind of going back to that marriage partner or your significant other. And so there could be some sort of action you're taking to actually heal a wound connected to your relationship, or maybe how you view relationships in general. So it could be those power and control issues, any kind of intimacy issues here, something along those lines. It feels very transformative, and it's a very healing type of energy here. You're actually one of the better transits dealing with this Chiron in Aries, so it's positive for you, Libra. We'll also have Mars square the moon in Cancer. And so the moon is the ruler of Cancer, so it's all about your emotions, the depths of your emotions, all of that kind of comes into play. But this Mars and Taurus energy, so again, sitting in your house of transformation, that death and rebirth, it's creating some sort of obstacle or challenge in the way that you feel about your work, the depths of what you feel about the work that you do. And so there's something around this action that you're taking is creating some sort of obstacle or challenge in maybe your work environment. It doesn't really feel like it's actually in the physical work environment. It's more about how you feel about that work environment, the work that you're doing here. And so just kind of keep that in mind. It is something that you can work through because it is a square. You are going to have to work through it. We'll also have Mars in Taurus square Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And so again, the actions that you're taking to maybe transform yourself, release something here, is creating some sort of obstacle or challenge, maybe when it comes to your relationships with your children, if you have them, or it could be something connected to your relationships, short-term relationships, or the way you feel about your passions, your hobbies, the things that you enjoy doing in your free time. It's just creating some sort of obstacle here. Again, you can work with the energy. It just requires that effort. And then on the 17th, we'll have Venus enter the sign of Cancer. And so that's going to happen at 2:20 in the morning Eastern time. And so this is where we start to get a lot of Cancer energy. And I'm going to kind of reiterate some of this square energy that we're going to come across when it comes to your dream daily life and how you can kind of work through that towards the end of the month. And so on the 17th, we will have Venus enter Cancer, and it's going to actually be conjunct the sun, but the sun is still in Gemini. And so what this means is how you feel about your work. That Venus in Cancer energy sitting in your 10th house, it's all about your career, what you value within your career, what kind of balance are you looking for within your career. Conjunct the sun in Gemini, how does that line up with the expansion that you're going through, the conversations that you're having here? Could be some sort of detailed conversation at work around growth and opportunity here. So really positive from that perspective. This could indicate maybe some sort of promotion or maybe a new opportunity, is something that you would want to explore because it aligns with what you value. We'll also have Venus conjunct Mercury in Gemini. So again, more of those conversations, what it is that you want here from a work perspective. We'll have Venus in Cancer trine the moon in Libra. And so what this means is what you value about your work or the direction that you're going. It's also very harmonious to the way that you feel about yourself, because that moon in Libra is about that balance, and it's in your house, your first house, your physical self. And so there's a lot of balance here. There's a lot of alignment with going after exactly what you want. A lot of opportunities are being presented to you. Really love this energy. We'll also have Venus in Cancer square Neptune in Pisces. And so that square Neptune in Pisces, Neptune being exactly what it is that you want, those goals, those dreams when it comes to your daily life. And so what is it about your career and what you value about your career that maybe is throwing something in your daily life out of balance? What is it that you want within your daily life? And then on the same day that Venus enters Cancer, we actually have Mercury enter Cancer. They're just a few hours apart. This one is at 5:07 in the morning, whereas Venus is at 2:20. So literally within hours of each other. And so when Mercury enters the sign of Cancer, Venus is sitting right there. And so they're going to be at the same degree point. It's a blending of this energy. So when it comes to your career, this is more of those detailed conversations around what you value about your work. Because this is all happening the same day, there might be opportunities being presented to you within a window of time. I'm getting 3 days. Whatever that window of time is, there might be some sort of significant conversation happening at work. We'll also have the Mercury in Cancer conjunct the Sun in Gemini. And so Sun in Gemini sitting in that house of expansion. So what it is that you value, what it is that you want within your work environment, and how do you want to grow and expand this? So lots of opportunities here from a career perspective for sure. I really do love this energy. Mercury in Cancer will also be trine the moon in Scorpio. The moon's a very fast moving energy, and so it changes signs every couple of days. And so the moon in Scorpio is how you feel about things changing. Scorpio for you rules your second house of personal finances. So these would be your investments, literally your bank accounts, your savings accounts, money that you already have and that you're doing something with. So you've already earned the money at some point and now it's just there. So this could be anything. It can come from any source really, but it's something it's your assets. Let's just put it that way. It's a better way of saying it. So these conversations connected to your career, because it's Mercury in Cancer trine the moon, it's going to blend with whatever is happening within your personal finances. It feels a lot like this is going to create some sort of change within your personal finances. This does feel like it's a positive change because Scorpio is transformation. It is actually death and rebirth. And so lots of positive growth, expansion, changes to your financial status. All of these things are coming through with the energy in the month of June. We will also have Mercury in Cancer square Neptune in Pisces. And so when it comes to the conversations that you're having, again, all about your career, it is creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to the daily life that you're looking for. And so it's more about trying to find that right balance. This can indicate that maybe the responsibilities you're picking up at work or this opportunity is going to put more work on your plate, more responsibilities that might require more hours out of you, that might impact negatively the way that you want your daily life to be. And so this would be that kind of energy that you can work through. You just have to find that balance. I mean, you're Libra, you're kind of constantly trying to find that balance. And then on the 20th, we'll have the sun enter the sign of Cancer. So we've got a lot of energy that's moving into Cancer in a very short window of time. And so this is going to happen at 4:51 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so when this happens, the sun in Cancer will be conjunct Mercury and Venus in Cancer. So you can see there's a lot of conversations, a lot of expressing yourself, what it is that you value about your career, what it is that you want within your career, lots of details. Let's dig deep into this one. It's a really positive energy here. And this is going to be another square that we have. So Sun in Cancer will square Neptune in Pisces. And so again, when it comes to your career, these changes that are taking place, the growth and expansion that you're going through, these opportunities being presented do have some sort of impact on your daily life that is just some sort of obstacle that you need to get through. And you can work with it. And then on the 21st, we'll have the full moon in the sign of Capricorn. And so that's going to happen at 9:08 p.m. Eastern time. And so when this happens, we've got the sun and the moon. They're at opposite points in the sky. And so the sun in Cancer is about expressing how you feel. The moon in Capricorn is, well, I feel something. Maybe it's connected to work or your sense of responsibilities. That's Capricorn energy, or maybe kind of structures that you've put into place. All of that is Capricorn. And so where this impacts you is your 10th house and your 4th house. So this is how you are expressing yourself within your career, and then how you feel about your home life as far as like responsibilities or the structure that you've put into place here. And so you can kind of already see that push-pull energy and how it's tying into everything else that's been happening here throughout the month. And so a lot of energy coming into here. We will also have lots of planets talking to each other. So the sun, because the sun, Mercury, Venus are all near each other, they're going to have some pretty tight conversations. And then you're going to have the moon that's really kind of in a push-pull with all of those. And so when it comes to the sun conjunct Mercury, again, detailed conversations around your work, opportunities, expressing yourself. We'll have the moon opposite. And so all of this expression that you're doing at work is creating some sort of friction with the responsibilities you might have at home, or some sort of structure you have in place connected to your home. And so you think back to all those squares as it relates to your daily life. There's a connection, obviously, daily life, home life. And so how do you work through this? What is going to be the best way for you to work through this energy? Because it is something you can work through. That opposition energy, you just have to find the balance. We'll also have the Sun conjunct Venus. So again, conversations around expressing yourself around what you value. We've got the Moon opposite this. And so what is that doing to your home life? How do you feel about what it's doing to your home life or the structures that you already have in place? That sense of duty and responsibility that you feel at home. And so again, that push-pull kind of energy. We'll also have the Moon in Capricorn trine Mars and Taurus. And so how you feel, that sense of duty, those structures that you have in place at home are actually blending with the action that you're taking to make some sort of internal change here. And so Mars and Taurus, that death and rebirth house. And so that transformation. And so what is it that you're doing? Because it's aligning with the structures that you have in place or some sort of sense of duty that you feel at home. We'll also have the Moon in Capricorn trine Chiron in Aries. And so whatever home life you have established for yourself, however you feel about it, this would be feeling like these structures are in place and they're in place for a reason. And that sense of duty, responsibility, all of this, that actually blends very well with this Chiron and Aries energy. So Chiron is the wounded healer. Aries for you, sitting in that 7th house of personal relationships. So your marriage partner, if you're married, or that significant relationship. So this Moon in Capricorn, these duties, these responsibilities are actually helping to heal some sort of wound that's coming to the surface, or maybe did recently come to the surface when it comes to how you feel about relationships or the type of relationship that you want. This, again, because we've got some Mars and Taurus energy happening right before, it's really all at the same time. You could be letting go of something, power and control issues, intimacy issues. These could be some of the actions that you're taking to kind of get your home life more the way that you want it to. And so this is where you can start to see some of that daily life energy kind of course correcting, or you're making some sort of modifications here that benefit you in some way. And then on the 29th of the month, this is where you can really see those opportunities to make some adjustments in your daily life. And so what this means is Saturn stations retrograde in the sign of Pisces at 3:06 p.m. Eastern time. And so Saturn in Pisces is in your house of daily routines. And so the work that you do in order to have the life that you want, that work is now going to be reflected inward because Saturn retrograde has everything directed inside you. And so it's about working on yourself, working on what kind of daily life do you want. And so what you're seeing here is maybe all the structures that you had in place from a home environment standpoint, maybe making some modifications there. I see some conversations, some positive growth happening within your work environment, maybe going back to school. That would have some sort of impact on your daily life. It has an impact on your home environment as well. And so you can kind of see how all this is really playing together. And so when Saturn stations retrograde, it's actually going to be trine Mercury in Cancer. And so the internal work that you're going to do in order to have the daily life that you want actually flows really easily with all of the conversations that are taking place around your work environment. So this is where you can really start to see, okay, there might have been some challenges in the beginning, but now I'm going to figure it out. This is you figuring it out. Saturn retrograde in Pisces will also trine Venus in Cancer. So again, what it is that you value about your work, how do you take that, incorporate that into your daily life? This is the work that you're going to be doing internally. Lots of positive energy here. And then we'll also have Saturn retrograde sextile Mars and Taurus. And so this is also creating some sort of opportunity for you to make some additional changes to yourself. This is an opportunity. This is something that you would have to work through. But again, you can take action and release other things that just aren't working for you. Are there responsibilities in your daily life that they just don't require your attention anymore? That could easily be highlighted here. There could be something here that you're letting go of in order to make room for this expansion within your career, maybe going back to school, all of these different things. So Libra, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.